respond appropriately to whatever risk is out there. That doesn't happen in anxiety disorders, because what happens is the what-if thoughts send out the risk assessment, your sensory organs collect data about your environment and feed that data back to the subconscious. But in anxiety conditions, no true risk exists. So the data that is received is about the symptoms in your body. Because when nothing can be found externally, you start to search internally. And your sensory organs then detect your racing heart or your churning stomach or whatever symptom is there. That data is fed back to the subconscious. The subconscious says, yes, that could be a risk. And you know consciously it's not a risk, but your subconscious doesn't know that. And you can't reason with your subconscious. This produces more anxiety, which produces more symptoms. The symptoms produce, obviously, more thought. The thought produces more symptoms, and the cycle continues. Creative intellect comes into this because it embellishes the initial thoughts. So when the racing heart is detected, the subconscious mind says, what is this? The creative intellect says, this could be a heart attack. It could be something really threatening. And that's what the anxiety control mechanism responds to. And that's how an anxiety disorder forms and how it's perpetuated. It's very simple.
Hi, my name's Drew Cohen. I live in Hoboken, New Jersey, and I'm making this video today to try to explain to you a little bit about what I went through with my panic and anxiety disorder and how I was actually able to overcome it. It was my sophomore year in college when I started to feel panic and anxiety and depression and pretty much everything that comes with it. I felt like I had been stripped of my livelihood. I felt hopeless, I felt alone. Probably something that you guys can relate to today, but one thing that kept me going was my thirst for life, my thirst for the life that I once had and I knew I could regain if I just hung in there long enough. But yeah, there were plenty of times where I wanted to just, kick it in and call it quits. I don't know exactly what happened to me or why it happened, but I do know that one day I found the Linden method, and that's what happened with the Linden method. It became extremely exciting for me to use as each day I could feel myself getting better and restoring myself back to the person that I once was. I didn't know if that person could ever be found again, but Charles made me believe that I could be that person, and that I could find that person, and that I still am that person. And I had a great job I never thought I would be able to keep. I know I would have never been successful at this job had I not followed the Linden method and ridded myself of this unwanted anxiety. I also know for a fact that I never would have found my wife, who I was so open with, and my life is back on track, and I owe a lot to myself, but the majority of it I owe to the Linden method. I really feel had I not found it and had I not followed it to the T, and that's exactly what I did, I followed it to the T, because when I set out to do something, I set out to do it to the fullest extent. And if you follow it to the T, I assure you, I promise you, that you will be better again. You will become well again. I'm living proof right here.
So what is the Linden Method program? Well, I call it the 5 S's. Simplicity, structure, support, speed, and success. The Linden Method produces changes in the brain that change the neural pathways that create and perpetuate anxiety, using something called neuroplasticity, which you all probably know about. By replacing the neural pathways that are responsible for the memory of the anxiety, you can completely eradicate anxiety, replacing those neural pathways with more appropriate behaviours and thoughts. It doesn't matter whether you go for the printed and download version of the Linden Method program, or the iPhone, iPad or iPod version, or the Anxiety Recovery Retreat. The people who take part in these programs recover if they use them correctly. And it's vital they just don't take it home and look at the box. They have to actually do this. It's like anything in life. I liken myself to a piano teacher sometimes. I can sit my clients in front of a piano, I can open the piano lid, I can sit them on the stool, I can put their feet on the pedals, I can even teach them to read music. And I can put their fingers on the keys, but the one thing I can't